So, to start off with, could you just do like an introduction as to like who you are and kind of your role within Newrez?
Okay, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Libby Shambeau. I'm a wholesale account executive with Newrez, and I've been here almost 12 years.
Fantastic. And can you give me a little bit about your personal story? I think you mentioned earlier about kind of 20 years of service and kind of how you came to work for Newrez.
Yes. Just a little bit about my military background. When I was 18, I joined the Army because I absolutely loved the commercials. That was back in the day when it was Army, be all you can be. And that was very intriguing to me. So I joined right out of high school. I did 4 years active duty. I was stationed in West Berlin, Germany, and that is when the wall was up. So I was one of my three highlights of my life was that I was at Ronald Reagan when he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall at the Berlin Wall. I was at that speech. So that I had just an amazing experience when I was on active duty. I went back to Wisconsin, my home state, after active duty, and then went to college. After college, I moved to Arizona and joined the Arizona Army National Guard. And there I spent 16 years. I was a drill sergeant and I ran the basic training orientation course. It was called BTOP. And I did that for I was an instructor, so I taught for 16 years with the Arizona Army National Guard, and it was a great experience, especially seeing the kids. What I did was train the kids what basic training was going to be like prior to them being shipped off to basic training. So we had our attrition rate was minimal only for the fact that those kids knew what they were going to experience once they actually got to boot camp. So it was a great experience. So to see them when they first came in and then to see them how much that they had knowledge they had gained by the time that they left for just that one weekend. It was very rewarding.
So, Brittany, in terms of this, if you could just do like a little bit of an introduction for us all, who you are, kind of your position within Newrez, that'd be fantastic.
Perfect. My name is Brittany Boccher, and I'm the National Director of VA Strategy and Military Engagement. I've been with the company for 7 years, and it's truly an honor and a privilege every day for me to get to come to work. And I use that word get to instead of have to because it's just an honor to serve this community. I've been a military spouse for more than 20 years, and it's amazing that every day I get to help military families. I get to help team members who work for us that are military connected. I get to serve our military and veteran communities from coast to coast. So it's absolutely incredible. We are a company that has such amazing culture, and being able to have military and veteran initiatives woven into the culture of Newrez is an incredible thing to experience every day.
Amazing. And can you tell me a little bit more about your personal story? I read a little bit about your bio and kind of all of like the deployments that you've navigated, and like it sounds like a lot of relocations. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and that how that's kind of connected to your mission at Newrez?
Yes, I'm so passionate about what I get to do every day at Newrez because of the experiences I've had as a military spouse over the last 20 years. My spouse and I have relocated to new homes 10 times in 20 years. We have experienced multiple deployments where my spouse had to go to another country during wartime. And being able to experience those situations and understand what the family at home is dealing with, and sometimes that family is moving, and so that's really lit a fire in me to help our military and veteran communities because I understand those challenges. I recognize how hard it is, and ultimately we want everyone to have a little piece of the American dream of home ownership and being able to do that. I've also been afforded the opportunity to really connect with this military community and advocate for families. In 2017, I was awarded the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year, and that gave me an opportunity to travel with senior military officials across the nation and visit the White House and introduce legislation on the Senate floor and be able to meet with policymakers and those who have the ability to make change for our military families. So I've been able to take all of those experiences and bring them to work with me every day.
Amazing. And I guess actually this is probably a question for both of you. Both of you kind of are involved in kind of active duty in different ways. And so I guess you both have some clear understanding of what it must be like to move during incredibly highly stressful times as well for veterans.
Military families moving, we call it Permanent Changes Station, or PCS. So military families will PCS every summer. I mean, hundreds of thousands will PCS every summer in the move rotations. And this is very challenging. And you think about it, it's not only the service member, it's the service member, their spouse, and oftentimes their children who are moving. And so when they're relocating, they're not simply moving from one home to another. They're picking up an entire community that they belong to, and they are joining a new community, and they are having to find everything for the first time in that new community. I actually purchased our first home with a power of attorney by myself while my spouse was deployed. And I flew across the country, had 24 hours, saw 13 homes, put an offer in, and then turned around and left. And then showed up, 6 weeks later to get our household goods delivered and moved. So oftentimes, the military family is the one who will go through the home relocation process while their service member is doing what they are supposed to be doing, serving our country, serving and working towards the mission. And so it's very challenging. It's obviously doable, but it's also why us at Newrez, it's so important for us to have subject matter experts and to be aware of the challenges that military families face so that we're prepared and we can help them ease that transition.
So how did you kind of come to work for Newrez? And I guess obviously you are kind of so well versed in understanding kind of veterans experience, really.
So I started with Newrez. Well, it was actually Caliber Home Loans, and almost 12 years ago. And I had been in the wholesale circle for my whole post-college career. So I knew someone that I had worked with at my last company, and I've only worked for 3 companies in my whole career. And that company, I needed a change. They were being sold. And he said, hey, why don't you interview my national sales manager is going to be in town. Could you meet him for a cup of coffee? So I met him. We hit it off. It was great. And I was hired. And so I just stuck with it. When Newrez bought Caliber in August of 2021, it was a great match for the 2 companies. So seeing the 2 companies combined and really grow into who we are today has been phenomenal to witness.
Amazing. And you mentioned you've worked for kind of 3 companies. What do you think is the thing that sets Newrez apart for veterans?
This is the first company I'd ever worked with where sales and operations work hand in hand. Our operations team members are like salespeople, only in the sense that it's all customer service driven. So they want their customer to have a great experience. My first and second company, that was not the case whatsoever. And so that is very refreshing. That is why I will never leave. I will retire here. And that's because of the culture. And our culture is better than anyone's out there.
Oh, that's amazing. I absolutely agree with you. The culture of Newrez is something else. It's just brilliant. So can you tell me a little bit more about how Newrez works with veterans and, things which are really important? For example, I know that you guys do the challenge coins.
Working with a company that is very aware of the military community is refreshing, because that was in the other 2 companies that I worked with, I had not seen that. Newrez is known that we are very good at VA, and me being a veteran, everyone comes to me with their VA questions, which is fantastic. So we are very well known for being military friendly. I will tell you, our VA underwriters are the best of the best. We also have the certificate of eligibility help desk, and then the VA support team, what's called a different name now, but the support that we have for VA loans within Newrez is unmatched. And to me, that's very important. And then on top of it, what we have is the challenge coin. It's just an extra step of acknowledgement of what veterans have given this country. And Once again, I'm proud to say that Newrez acknowledges their service, and that's how we show it.
Fantastic. So I guess I'm just going off of that question. What do you find sets Newrez apart when it comes to that commitment to military and veteran borrowers?
Oh man. So I like to say that there's the Newrez difference. And, really what makes us different, it's our culture. It's the belief in supporting military and veteran communities from the top down. So it is our commitment that we have to each other as team members. It's the commitment we have to our military connected employees. It's the commitment that we make to the communities that we serve in, that we do business in, and the greater commitment of simply supporting military and veteran communities. And so, one thing that we do that's different is we have a challenge coin program. And there's a history of the challenge coin. There's a tradition with it in the military. You will see senior leaders provide a challenge coin as a show of appreciation. So you might have a senior leader give that to someone who did something well. Maybe they're giving it to them as a memento to, remember where they were stationed as they move on to another location. But we do it to recognize our veteran employees, and we also do it to recognize our veteran customers. So we have this challenge coin that we send out to our customers who have served as a way to show them gratitude and thanks. And that is who we are. That's who we are at our core in our culture.
I absolutely love that. And can you tell me a little bit more about some of the organizations that Newrez partners with and how that impacts the veterans?
It's very important for Newrez to be aware of the challenges that are facing military and veteran communities. And it's important for us to not only be aware, but to be a part of those conversations. And so we wanted to find out, what are the challenges that our military and veterans face in their pursuit of home ownership? And so we've learned that employment, financial readiness, family readiness, relocation, moving, as well as mental health, all impact our military and veterans from achieving homeownership. And so because we're aware of that, Newrez has made the commitment to work with organizations specifically in those 5 areas so that we can be a part of the conversation, hear the challenges, and also be a part of the solution. So for example, we have a partnership that we've created with Stronghold Food Pantry. Stronghold fills in the gap for military and veteran families who are facing food insecurity. And so we want to be a part of that solution. We want to help military families. We don't want to just say we're military friendly. We don't want to simply state that we like to serve military families. We want to be there side by side with them and provide solutions. So partnering with Stronghold is a great example. Partnering with organizations like the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professional provides an opportunity to educate our military and veteran families about their VA loan benefit, to help them understand how to use it and how they can achieve homeownership. Working with organizations like the Inspire Up Foundation, which has a mission to really provide impact grants and fill in the gaps of these emergency needs for military families that they're not able to get filled anywhere else. And so we have many relationships, but we are very intentional in all of our relationships to ensure that they come back to those 5 core focus areas. Currently, Newrez has 11 active strategic partnerships with military veteran organizations, all who have missions that meet the 5 challenges that we've identified that prevent military and veterans from achieving homeownership.
That's just incredible and hugely empowering for kind of any veteran to really see that you're kind of supporting them and supporting them continuously going forward as well. I noted a little bit about you mentioned at the Military Veteran Family Advisory Council. It's quite a mouthful, but could you tell me a little bit more about that?
So another thing that makes Newrez different is we have invested in a Military Family Advisory Council comprised of 5 military veterans and or military spouses who have really helped us identify the 5 core barriers or challenges that are facing military families and veteran families from achieving homeownership. This was very important for us because these are individuals who are on the ground. They are active in the community and influencers within the community, who are able to give us real-time information on how we can better serve. Anyone can make a donation, but we want to do more than that. We want our goals to stand, our goals are to stand alongside our community, identify those gaps and resources that are needed, and actively work to be part of the solution. And this council is one way that we're able to be a part of the solution. We know that there are challenges, but we are absolutely dedicated as a company, and it's within our culture to find ways to overcome these challenges.
Again, fantastic answer. So yeah, it's really, really interesting hearing all about it. So I guess moving on to Military May, could you both tell me a little bit about Military May and what it means to yourselves and to military and veteran communities as well?
So, what Military May means to me in my position is that it really gets to spotlight Newrez to our business partners of how much we care about the veteran community. So, having that spotlight, sharing all the information, sharing the other outside agencies that we support, that is very important. And I don't think that it gets enough recognition. So, just having a specific month to highlight what we do and what we offer to the veterans and the community, I think is really important.
Military May is a month that a lot of organizations nationwide recognize. And the reason Military May is so important is because the month is filled with national recognized observances, from Silver Star Banner Day, starting out the month, to Military Spouse Appreciation Day, leading into Children of Fallen Patriots in the middle of the month, to our Armed Forces Days for those recognizing those actively serving, to Memorial Day at the end of the month. We have so many observances that it's important for us as a company to recognize all of those. We want to recognize it because it's the right thing to do. Less than 1% of our population serves in the United States military. 1% serves for all of us. And the least we can do is be able to recognize and bring awareness and advocacy and support those who so graciously and bravely serve for us every day. So Military May at Newrez is an opportunity for us to educate our team members, recognize our team members who are military connected, serve our communities, and be able to do that not only through strategic partnerships, but through philanthropic giving, as well as volunteering and showing up and being present in those communities, as well as taking the opportunity to educate not only our veterans about their benefit that they've earned from their service, but also industry professionals. We need industry professionals to understand military families, understand their benefit, and help them to achieve that dream of homeownership. I'll tell you a personal story. For my family, my husband was wounded in combat. He is a 100% service-connected disabled veteran after 21 years of service. For him, home is more important than simply a place for us to call home. Home is a place for recovery. A lot of our service members and their families, they need a place to recover, to grow, and to become one unit again after years of serving separate and oftentimes living separate lives while serving and completing the mission. That's why we at Newrez are committed to Military May.
You mentioned really quickly about VA benefits and kind of educating people on it. So I'd love to kind of step into another question as to what do you both find are some of the biggest barriers or misconceptions to home ownership that you're hearing from military families and your colleagues?
Military families face challenges every day in homeownership. Oftentimes, it can start with simply not understanding their benefit that they've earned. They perhaps have learned or heard information that's actually myths. And so it takes that level of education. Where are they getting it from? How do they know? But it also really takes the industry. You would be surprised that there are actually people in the industry who will actually advise a veteran not to use their benefit and may advise them to actually use a different loan product to get into their home. And so it takes that education. And oftentimes from our industry, it's not that they don't want to support the veteran, they're just simply not educated about the benefit either. And so when we have two people who are not aware of the benefit, it's not being used. Our goal is to really help military veterans and the industry understand this benefit. This is something they've earned. They deserve to be able to use. And so we want to help them use that. It's to give them a better opportunity to be able to get into a home. So that's one of the first barriers. Then we go into just things that honestly are out of a lot of people's control. We get into factors of limited inventory in a lot of areas. We get into factors of, rates, that being something that are out of people's control. And so if we're able to help them really understand, look at the bigger picture of their financial readiness and their family readiness, educate them about their benefit, oftentimes we can actually get them in a home when maybe they thought it wasn't possible.
So my perspective from working with loan officers is trying to help educate them so that they can help educate their veteran borrowers and that aspect. So one of the biggest misconceptions is that you cannot have two VA loans at the same time. That is incorrect information. So a lot of times the people are moving from one duty station to another duty station. Then they already have a home and they want to keep that home. Very few know that they can have a second VA home loan. So at Newrez, we have a department that will help us calculate the bonus entitlement. So that is a really big deal that we offer that service to help loan officers inform their veteran borrowers of exactly what they will qualify for. And having that tool with Newrez, once again, sets us apart from other lenders. Another misconception is that sometimes veteran borrowers think that they use a VA loan one time and then that's all that they can do, when that is not the case. So another thing is that making sure that we put on trainings for loan officers in military communities so that they understand the veteran benefits as well. And that's a training exclusive, once again, only to Newrez that I am aware of. So just that extra step of educating the people who have direct contact with the veteran is very important.
That's a brilliant, brilliant answer. Thank you. And I think especially as kind of Brittany, you were mentioning about how important the home is. So for a veteran to be able to potentially, know that they have to move on a regular, like potentially regular basis, but know that they can keep a home that they've fallen in love with as well. That's really, really meaningful. And also, Libby, as you mentioned, to know that they don't have just kind of one VA loan opportunity, they have multiple.
One thing that really has Newrez stand apart in this industry is that we have taken the ability to create our own internal military veteran lending professional certification for our originators. And this certification gives our originators specific training to make them subject matter experts so that they are fully aware of the in and outs of the VA home loan so that they're better prepared to serve that military veteran customer or borrower when they get on the phone with them. They are able to educate them, they're able to guide them and lead them on that path and really debunk myths that family may have believed about the benefit that they earned.
Fantastic. And then just kind of like wrapping up really, both of you have got kind of really different backgrounds. So what I really want to ask you is if you could share one message with a single military person listening like right now in relation to home ownership, what would you say?
So for all of the military and veteran families that are out there, I understand that homeownership is scary. It's the largest purchase you'll ever make, and it is a huge commitment. But I want to say when you find the home and you find the place that you want to call home and you want to put roots down, don't be scared of the rate. And I'll leave you with marry the home, date the rate.
If I could say one thing to a military family that's listening right now, I would say educate yourself on all of the benefits that come with being a part of the military. They're not just home ownership, but counseling and financial freedom and budgeting. And there's so many opportunities. There's so many organizations that do want to help the military community. And I think that the military has been growing. We're going in the right direction. So I think that being a member of the military is honorable. And I think that the American people are seeing that of them. Be proud that you served and are serving, because people do want to recognize you and the sacrifice that you have given.
Absolutely love that. And before we close, is there anything else that, it was a very open-ended question, but is there anything else that either of you would like to share in relation to kind of VA lending or military May, or anything else that you kind of wanted to talk about at all today?
Newrez overall goes the extra mile. Like, we go the extra mile for our employees and for our borrowers, our customers. And developing the military veteran lending professional certification is just one way that Newrez goes the extra mile, but we also provide additional resources for our originators, such as market reviews. And these market reviews, they establish specific business development plans that include community engagement strategies that help originators tailor a plan to better serve military and veteran families. That is all part of our mission at Newrez, to ensure that every military and veteran family can experience the dream of homeownership. So being able to provide our originators, our team members, with the access to this information, giving them not just information, but scenarios, walking through scenarios, real scenarios that military and veteran families will go through, helping them truly understand why that close date is so important. And I want to share with you why it is, because there are military families today that are getting ready to move, and their items, their household goods, are on a big 18-wheeler trailer, or perhaps they're on a ship coming across the ocean right now. And their household goods are coming, and they're being told they're going to be delivered on a certain day. And so when a military family says, I have this exact close date and my household goods are being delivered on that date, there is no opportunity for any flexibility in that date. We have to meet that close date for the family. If not, that family has nowhere to stay. They are literally homeless. So it's critical for us to train, to provide the education, to get our team members certified and subject matter experts, so that they truly understand not only the legality of the VA home loan benefit, but they also understand the culture, the experience, and the scenarios that military and veteran families face every day. This Military May, I have a call to action. I challenge you to get into your community, meet your neighbors, find a military or veteran family, participate, give back, engage, volunteer. But this Military May, stand up, acknowledge, and recognize our military and veterans. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Broker Buzz, and we invite you to come back to a future episode.